Hey everyone, Chris here. Today I'll be walking you through how to assemble this adorable 3D Forest Baby gift card. However you choose to print and cut, these images are sure to delight and make a very adorable 3D gift card. It's designed with my own original artwork. You have the option to use a cutting machine such as Cricut or Silhouette. Or if you're the DIY type, you could choose to cut this out with scissors and do a fussy cut. Either way works fine. Okay, let's get started. To attach all the layers, you'll need an adhesive that you're the most comfortable with. I've tried glue and tape runners and two-sided sticky tape, but what I ended up using the most is just my beacon glue. It just seems to be the most forgiving while I adjust and align the layers in place. And if you are going the DIY route and fussy cutting with scissors, obviously you'll want your favorite paper cutting scissors on hand as well as a craft knife. And most people use a bone folder, but I just use this handy gadget I've had laying around the house, so I use that to crease the folds. As far as choosing your cardstock to do the printing on, the options are just bountiful. I ended up using these two choices, but you can experiment and see what works best for you. As far as printing and cutting the envelope, I suggest a thicker paper like this one shown here and not cardstock. It just makes it easier to get the card in and out. Now we're ready to print and cut. So if you are using a Silhouette machine, what you'll want to do is open up the SVG page in the design space, and you will want to set the media type to letter and then set up your registration marks. Once you do that, you will drag your cursor over the entire image with the cut lines included and make sure the whole thing is highlighted. Then you will drag and place the page within the registration marks, and then you can go up and click send to do a test and see if the images and the cut marks are all in the right place within the registration marks. And then if they are, you will go ahead and send this to printer, making sure your printer settings are set at the highest quality. Once the printing's done, it's time to cut. You can use a machine or the scissors. I'm using a Silhouette, and here it is doing its magic. All right, let's get ready to assemble. First, we see the envelope, and second is what is called the pocket. Next is the baby note card. This is called the back. The back attaches to the background on the back of the background. This is layer 1. This is layer 2. And this is layer 3, or you could call it the front layer. And last to be attached will be the frame on the outside. Let's start with the envelope. It's obviously printed on that thicker paper, but not cardstock, making it a little more like an envelope and less like a card, so that's good. And it's pretty self-explanatory, folding in the sides and bringing the bottom flap up to glue. And as you'll see, I added some of that double-sided sticky tape. You leave the one part unpeeled so that when you or someone wants to send the card, obviously they will peel back that extra layer of backing and tape the flap down to mail the card. Next, we are working on what I've titled or named the pocket and the note. So the little baby is the note card, the pocket is the little flower with the flaps, and we're going to fold them accordingly and glue them onto what I have titled as the back, which you will see. And here's the back. which the pocket gets glued onto. Okay, so now you have the pocket folded and glued onto what is called the back, and the baby slips in. Now this back is going to be glued onto the background, which is your main background of the card. And you'll fold those sides in just so you can see where to place the back onto the background. Okay, now we're going to start adding the layers to the inside of the card, starting with layer number 1. And you'll see that I'm being very delicate to fold these sides in. They are very thin, and you want to be pretty careful with them and get them folded and then lay them down nicely, and use your bone folder to get that crease nice and tight. Okay, so I like to start with the right hand side, and you can see that flap is quite small, that little tab you're going to put the glue on. But get the glue on there, and then as you can see, I'm laying it down, making sure that at the bottom of the card, the layer you're gluing on is horizontally in line with the bottom of the card, with the bottom of the background part that you're gluing it onto. Make sure you slip it into place really nicely there. And then you can fold it over and test it and make sure that it's on there nice and secure. And one thing you need to remember is not to use too much glue, because at this stage when you're folding it over, the excess glue might come out and kind of stick to the places you don't want it to stick. So be careful with the glue. Use enough to make it stick, but not too much. So one of the things you're going to want to do with each layer, like you can see here, is fold it both ways. Fold it flat, flipping it back and forth. And every time you add a layer, you're going to want to do that just to make sure everything's moving and going flat like you want it to. Okay, next up is the middle layer, or the second layer, which is the baby and the flower. And again, you want to get the glue on those little tiny tabs and make sure that the bottom of the layer is lined up nice and horizontal with the whole entire card, and move it around plenty back and forth to make sure it's all laying down flat. And that's how you do it. It's coming along now, looking really cute. Okay, here's the final layer for the inside, and it's the big leaf foliage. Again, you're going to get the glue on those small little tabs, get them lined up in place, making sure everything is lined up horizontal and moving well when you lay it flat. Okay, it's our final piece, the frame that will be glued onto the outside. So you'll notice when you're folding this that the edges are quite thin right along the outside edges. So when you start folding, you're just going to want to be really delicate, bringing those edges in. And then when you start using your bowl and folder, you'll notice you need to be extremely careful not to ruffle the edges, so to speak. Just make sure you get that nice crease going. At this stage, you can see that everything's fitting nicely, and we're just about done. And as I did on all of the layers, I started on the right side, glued that tab in place, laid it flat and got it lined up. And then I went to the left side and put the glue on there and put my final tab on and made sure everything laid flat and was working well. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this project as much as I did. One last thing, just so you know, this card does come in two sizes, the regular and a mini card. The one you've seen here today is the regular size. And also, I do have art prints available if that's something you are interested in. Well, thanks for watching. See you next time.